It's 6:39 in the AM. I decided I would do a follow-up video to the last one about the 4B movement because I decided to join the subreddit for the 4B movement and get clarity on the whole, making adult content kind of thing. Um, so I'm gonna read you how those conversations been going because it's been interesting. I'm learning about it, so I'm gonna share you my knowledge. I posted in the 4B movement subreddit. It looks so blurry, but I put as my title, "Hi, I just joined," right? And it was 11 hours ago, and I was like, I'm self-centered enough for the 4B already. But I need some clarity because I made a video about joining the 4B movement earlier, but I also make adult content which largely caters to the male population. So is that not 4B or does it still qualify? I searched online earlier and looked it up while I was making my video, but I didn't see anything that specified if sex work qualifies. For those that need to know, I tend to focus on fetishes, which isn't like traditional sex work, but still qualifies. Just figured I'd ask. I don't think it does, but correct me if I'm wrong. The mod messaged me and they didn't permit like my comment, my post to be posted up. So I had that little garbage bin on the side of it, if you're familiar with Reddit, that I noticed. Cause like I noticed there must be some strict mods on there because like fucking people hadn't posted or it looked like people hadn't posted in like 9 hours. So I was like, there's strict mods or something. Cause like who doesn't just allow comments to appear and then go through them after, whatever. So anyway, I got a message from the mod and it was like, hello, thanks for your post that they didn't allow on the site. We do not support the concept of women creating sexual content for men, as that goes against our core concept of decentering men, but you are still welcome to enjoy the community and learn more about it. I was like, what if I'm not making content solely for men? I was like, BDSM stuff is more of a lifestyle and passion for me. Would I have to cut all men out and just advertise for women only? And this person, no, a different one replied, I think the other reply still stands. And they like quoted where I said, which largely caters to the male population. There was like, I think the other reply still stands. It's also really difficult to call all men out of your audience, but obviously catering only to women theoretically is much better in my opinion. I was like, yeah, I didn't think it was all anti-men. I thought it was more just woman-centered. Thanks though. If I read their thingy, their description to the sub, it says the 4B movement is a peaceful lifestyle choice, improving the health and well-being of women by decentering men. It originated in South Korea and is now expanding worldwide. The 4Bs are no dating, sex or marriage with men, and no giving birth. So, yeah. I just got a message, but it wasn't for the same sub. Anyway, I posted the same question in the sex workers sub because I wasn't gonna get like a good enough response from them. They seem to be like more anti-men than more woman-centered, you know? Plus, they didn't even allow my question on the sub for discussion purposes. They just like, no, it didn't count. But in the sex workers sub, which you can't see because it's always going to show blurry, I titled it 4B, and I was like, I was wanting to join the 4B movement, but also make contents and do sessions. But let me read it again because I missed an I in there. A letter, literally just missed a letter. I was wanting to join the 4B movement, but I also make contents and do sessions, so I was conflicted if that counts or not. The mod over at 4B said I can't make contents for men and be 4B. I never saw myself as making content solely for men. I know some women appreciate my stuff too, but the vast majority are male. Like, would I have to advertise for women only, or how does that work? Someone commented, I feel like only super square bitches need 4B. Us sex workers have our own methods of taking away men's power over us. Just having extremely high standards in and of itself is enough, in my opinion, or more specifically, giving them little chances here and there and then ending things when they don't act right is even more powerful because it gives them a taste, then punishes the bad behavior. Like when you have to fire a client, for example. I guess for a content creator, your equivalent would be blocking a fan. I also think it can work for relationships. Let him pursue, but if he shows any red flags, just cut him off. Zero remorse. I firmly believe leaving the door open, but being extremely strict is more powerful. I replied, I like that. 4B would be easy for me, to be honest. I already got kids and got fixed, and I pleasure myself more these days. I love to use people for my own pleasure, and I love it when they get pleasure out of pleasing me. Just would be nice if there was a feminist movement that was more centered around supporting each other rather than hating men. I've had hella traumatic experiences due to shitty men, but the majority of my biggest supporters are men also. I just don't see the sense in being completely all anti-men like that. That's crazy to me. Someone else said, I get the impression there's a lot of crossover in that community with femcel, pink pill, FDS, etc. Folks who are mostly straight out of swerve types. They will never accept us because they see us as complicit in the oppression of women / traitors to our own gender. I was like, I see things with a thumbs up. Because I had to look up some of those terms and figure out what the fuck they meant. But it's basically feminist movements that like hate prostitution and shit. The person replied, this happens with basically every femcentric movement on Reddit, sadly. They could have a powerful ally in sex workers. In fact, much of FDS was ripped from sex work techniques. But would rather, FDS, by the way, I looked it up, it's like female dating strategies. I looked on their website because they have a female dating FDS fucking website. They don't have bullet points for what it encapsulates. So I checked other websites. They also don't have a simple list that shows what it encapsulates. So, I think they might have some videos on it on YouTube. I haven't researched it yet, but I might eventually. I'm just not that interested in it, to be honest. If it's all anti-men, like, I just don't see the sense of it. Anyway. um, anyway, um, I hadn't known about FDS, I just looked it up. Thanks for the info. It's a shame so-called feminists are willing to cut out a whole section of women just because of their work preferences. Makes no sense to me. Which, yeah. Someone else replied, the movement emphasizes decentering men for your life. From your life. But does that mean that we exclude them completely for everything? Question mark, question mark. I don't think that's possible. A hairdresser shouldn't be expected to refuse service to men, or the owner of a supermarket to close her cash register whenever a man steps up to make a purchase. The no sex with men is in their personal lives and relationships, but I don't think sex work is the same. If anything, I would argue that sex work is exactly 4B because men don't get what they want unless they pay. They are forced to support a woman for performing sexiness instead of expecting it for free from a girlfriend they don't respect. I say sex work can absolutely support 4B. I'm thinking about doing my part by raising my rates. I'm also thinking of requiring a deposit in the form of a donation to a women's rights charity or similar. I'm putting together my list of approved organizations and rewriting my website now. Thumbs up. Yeah, I didn't think it was an anti-men thing, but that's the feeling I'm getting from the sub. I thought it was more about being centered around women. I love your ideas, by the way. Sounds good. Another thumbs up. The person wrote, thank you. I'm sure there's a healthy amount of misunderstanding in the sub on who sex workers are and what we're about. Just like in feminists and other subs. It's not your fault, so don't take it personally. I think 4B is about putting ourselves first as women. My becoming a sex worker is actually my personal story of rejecting men in my life and using sex to serve me financially and becoming self-sufficient for the first time in my life. So I feel that I am already 4B in many ways. But some women absolutely seem to be using the movement as an excuse for extreme misandry, which is unfortunate. Misandry, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Misandry. Time will tell how it settles in the future. Yeah, like I said, I never viewed what I do as being for men. BDSM is my lifestyle and passion, and it's my art therapy as well. I love it and I love sharing it with others. Men are like an afterthought. So, yeah, it's been an interesting discussion more on the sex worker side because, like, the 4B movement side just completely, like, shut me off. Was I mentioned I'm a sex worker, so, yeah, let me know what you think. I think I rambled long enough. Talk to you later. Bye.